In a high-leg delta configuration, a three-phase power system is wired in a delta configuration, but with one phase, the high leg, connected to the center tap of a transformer's secondary winding. This results in a voltage imbalance between the three phases. The high leg has a higher voltage than the other two phases. In the example provided, a 240 volts delta secondary is considered. When the center tap of the secondary winding is connected to the high leg, the voltage between the high leg and the other two phases, the low legs, becomes 208 volts. However, the voltage between the two low legs remains at 240 volts. The 90-degree phase shift between the 240 volts and 208 volts is a result of the delta configuration. In a delta configuration, the three phases are connected in a closed loop, with each phase shifted by 120 degrees from the other two phases. The center tap of the secondary winding is connected to the midpoint of one of the phases, which results in a 90-degree phase shift between the high leg and the other two phases. The high leg delta configuration is sometimes used in electrical systems to provide a higher voltage for certain loads, such as motors or lighting. However, it is important to note that this configuration can create voltage imbalances between the three phases, which can lead to problems with equipment and power quality. To elaborate further, let's consider the specifics of how the 208 volts arises and what the implications of the 90-degree phase shift are. The standard delta configuration for a 240 volt system means each of the three phases outputs 240 volts. These phases are connected in a closed loop, so the voltage between any two phases is also 240 volts. The introduction of the center tap on one of the windings changes this symmetry. This center tap effectively splits one of the 240 volts phases into two 120 volt sections. The voltage from either end of the winding to the center tap is 120 volts. However, a high leg is not simply 120 volts. Instead, it's the vector sum of the 120 volts from the center tap to one end of the winding and the 120 volts from the center tap to the other end, but with a 120-degree phase difference introduced by the delta configuration. This is where the 90-degree phase shift comes into play when referencing it back to the 240 volts. Because of this phase shift, the voltage from the high leg to either of the other two phases is not simply the arithmetic difference between 240 volts and 120 volts, which would be 120 volts. Instead, it's the square root of 120 volts squared plus 120 volts squared minus 2 times 120 volts times 120 volts times the cosine of 120 degrees, which approximately equals 208 volts. So, we get the 208 volts due to this vector addition and phase shift. The high leg delta system does present some challenges. Firstly, it is essential to identify the high leg, which is typically marked with orange tape. This is because the voltage to ground from the high leg is higher than the voltage to ground from the other two phases. If you mistakenly connect a 120 volts load to the high leg, it will be subject to 208 volts, which will likely damage the equipment. Secondly, the voltage imbalance can cause issues with three-phase motors. If the voltage is not balanced, the current in each phase will be different. This can lead to overheating and reduce motor life. Thirdly, the harmonics can be produced by nonlinear loads such as electronic devices, which can cause additional problems in the system. These harmonics can distort the voltage waveform and lead to equipment malfunction. To mitigate these issues, it's important to ensure that the system is properly grounded and that the loads are balanced as much as possible. It is also important to use surge protection devices to protect equipment from voltage spikes. Moreover, it is essential to use appropriate wiring and circuit breakers to prevent overloading the system. In general, the high leg delta configuration is a complex system that requires careful planning and execution. If you are considering using a high leg delta system, it is best to consult with a qualified electrical engineer. Now let's explore some of the applications of high leg delta systems. They are commonly used in older industrial buildings and shops that require both three-phase power for machinery and single-phase power for lighting and other equipment. The single-phase power is obtained by connecting loads between one of the lower legs and the neutral, which is connected to the center tap of the transformer winding. The three-phase power is obtained by connecting loads to all three phases. In some cases, a high-leg delta system can be more economical than other types of three-phase systems. This is because it requires only one transformer, while other systems may require 2 or 3 transformers. However, the cost savings must be weighed against the potential problems with voltage imbalance and harmonics. Furthermore, safety is paramount when dealing with electrical systems, especially high-leg delta systems. Always ensure that you are working with de-energized circuits whenever possible. Use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as gloves and safety glasses. Familiarize yourself with the relevant electrical codes and standards. Never work alone, and always have someone nearby who can provide assistance in case of an emergency. Before working on any electrical system, use a voltmeter to verify that the power is off. Test the voltmeter on a known live circuit to make sure it is working properly. After turning off the power, lock out and tag out the circuit breaker to prevent someone from accidentally turning the power back on. In addition, it's important to understand the National Electrical Code, or NEC, requirements for high-leg delta systems. The NEC provides specific guidelines for wiring, grounding, and overcurrent protection. For example, NEC Section 230.42 specifies the minimum ampacity of service entrance conductors. The size of the conductors must be sufficient to carry the load. NEC Section 250.24 covers grounding requirements for separately derived systems, such as those used in high-leg delta configurations. Proper grounding is essential for safety and to prevent electrical shock hazards. NEC Section 408.3 requires that the high leg be identified by an orange outer finish or by other effective means. This helps to prevent accidental connections to the high leg. Also, NEC Table 310.16 provides the allowable ampacities of insulated conductors based on their insulation type and ambient temperature. It is important to use conductors that are rated for the expected current and temperature. In summary, the high-leg delta system is a unique configuration that offers both advantages and challenges. Understanding the principles behind the system, the potential problems, and the relevant safety codes is essential for working with these systems safely and effectively. Before undertaking any work on a high-leg delta system, consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer.